Hey Friendswood High School, if you don't already know me, my name is Sam and today I'm going to be teaching you how to apply your show makeup for the 2018 fall season. Before we begin, I just want to walk you through everything that I've done to my face so far. So I've applied my foundation, concealer where I need it, and I've also applied my foundation setting powder on top, and I have filled in my eyebrows. This is a little bit darker than I would normally do. I also suggest you fill in your brows a little bit darker just because we're going for a little bit more dramatic, edgy makeup look. Now we're going to get started with the makeup tutorial. So first I'm going to be taking the NYX Vivid Brights little cream color pot, and I'm also going to be using a flat concealer brush. Mine has the green on it because I was testing it out with this, but you definitely want something flat and a little bit more dense like this to really pick up a lot of the color. When I use this paint pot, I really have to dig in with it because that top layer doesn't really want to let you pick up a lot of color, so get a good amount on that brush, and you're just going to start making random little strokes around this side of your face. And basically we're just kind of making a collage of different colors. So I just like to go color by color to add it in, and nothing's perfect. It's kind of just choose your own adventure type of stuff, and you can even go over your eyebrow with it. Alright, so we're going to come back to that shade later. Next shade I'm going to be using is the NYX Vivid Brights eyeliner, and this is the one that's in the shade Vivid Escape. It's just like the lime green one. So this is just a pointed tip on here, so all I do is turn it to the side and maybe do a few more strokes, and I just make it as wide as the other brush. Choose your own adventure once again and add in the color where you'd like, and it's alright if it overlaps. So once you're done adding in that color, the next color you're going to pick up is our yellow NYX eyeliner, and this one is the shade Vivid Halo. And here's where you're going to just want to fill in every single gap that you see, and you might need to go back in with any of the other colors if you feel like it's needed. And it's as quick and easy as that. That is all of the colors that I'm putting on that side of my face. For the next step, I'm going to take the NYX Vivid Brights. So a lot of these aren't meant to be eyeshadows, but you can use them as eyeshadows if you use them correctly. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit on here. Also, what I'm doing with it, I have a lot of things on my hand right now. I'm just taking the excess off on the inside of the tube, just so we have a little bit less to work with and it's easier to manage. And all I'm going to do is paint this on the inner half of my lid. And we can do the same thing on the other side. And you don't want to let this go above the crease or too far in. And you're going to wait just a little bit, maybe about 30 seconds, and let it dry up and get a little bit more tacky. So next we're just going to blend this shade out just a little bit. So I have this fluffy basic eyeshadow blending brush. And you want to make sure you do this when the liner's still a little bit wet. But you don't want to brush too hard on it. So this brush is pretty fluffy, and you just want to get the color even across there. It's okay if it's not blended on this outer part, or sorry, the middle part of the lid right there. We will blend that out better with the next shade that we're using. And if it ever becomes choppy like this, all you have to do is go back over it with the liner and just fill that in, and you can work with the wet shadow. Sometimes it's a little bit finicky since it's technically not supposed to be blended out like this. And if you want, with any excess, just push that out on the rest of the lid. One thing I forgot to mention, I have eyelash extensions, so sorry if they get in the way at all for you guys. We're just gonna work around those. Now that we have the green eyeshadow on the inner portion, next I'm taking this flat eyeshadow brush. You can pretty much take anything you want. I just felt like this worked really well because of its flat shape, that it was really easy to pick up the pigment in here. But then it was also fluffy enough to blend out some eyeshadow, so I thought that this brush worked really well for what I needed it to be. So I have a decent amount on the brush, not caked on or anything like that. All I did was take it in that outer corner, and we're going to start moving it in circle motions, trying to get some of that base color on there. You can bring it into the crease as well, just side to side motions. And getting used to using these is gonna take a little bit of work because like I said, technically they aren't supposed to be eyeshadows, but these are really gonna last a long time throughout the humidity of, you know, Houston and the sweat and everything like that. So these are gonna be better for you in the long run. So once you have about that much on your lid and it's blended out, if you need to go back in with your finger or anything, because these are they work really well with your fingers as well, because your fingers can warm up the product. You can go in with your fingers and adjust, get it closer to that lower lash line, but don't be afraid to really blend that out. You don't see how I don't have a harsh line right here and it starts to nicely fade out? That's really what we're going for. For the next step, we're going to be taking the same green potted shadow. I'm taking this nice pointed pencil brush. You're gonna get a decent amount on there and you're just gonna apply this to the lower lash line. So how I like to do this is like just start out by going in side to side motions across the lower lash line, just on that skin right underneath it. And then you can really try and blend that outer corner up to the top of the shadow as well. We don't want any gaps, but also make sure you're really blending that out so it's not just like a thick line of green. You want to have a nice gradient coming out of that. Also, when you're done using this green shadow, you just want to twist it up so tight because this will definitely dry out. So you want to make sure you keep it nice and moist, and sometimes you might need to add a little bit of an oil to it or something like that. Cosmetic safe oil, might I add. And that's really gonna moisten up the product again, but definitely if you don't want to buy a new one, close that baby up. Next up, we're going to be doing our liner. I definitely recommend a felt tip pen eyeliner, and that is just going to make it a lot easier and a lot faster for you guys, especially if you're less experienced with eyeliner. I'm using my gel liner, so this definitely is not forgiving, and I feel like a liquid liner, sometimes you can mess up and just wipe it off and it doesn't even affect your eyeshadow. So we're going to be doing a pretty dramatic little wing. So for me, I like to start out by doing the wing first, the bottom of the wing, and not doing the top liner just yet. So what I do is I try and look at my lower lash line and the angle that it's going up. I just try and match it with my liner. So I'm going to draw the bottom line, just draw a very thin line coming out from the corner of your eye. And you're going to make it a decent length out because we want it to be pretty dramatic. So I think that's like a little bit over a ½ inch coming out from my eye. So we definitely don't want any wimpy little baby wings coming out. And then from there, I like to draw the top line connecting it in. And again, go smaller than bigger on that angle coming in, because you can always make it bigger, but you can't make it smaller. So I made mine about this thick, and I probably won't add too much more to it, but I'll work up off of it. And now you're going to go in and you're going to draw the line across the top of your lash line, and you want to make sure that it's way thinner on the inner corner, almost non-existent, and it gets a little bit bigger to connect out to that wing. Alright, now that I have my eyeliner done on both eyes, we're going to do the inner part of the wing. So this is going to be the part that kind of, you know, makes it look a little bit more intense. I'm going to just follow the line of the top of my lash line in. Just about that much, if you can really see that. And then from there, we're going to pull another line out and basically make a triangle shape with it. So this completes our black wing liner. We have the outer wing, we have the inner wing, a lot of intensity going on. And now I'm taking my black pencil liner and we're just gonna fill in that lower waterline. Our next step is gonna be false lashes. So I have magnetic lashes just because of my eyelash extensions. So I'm gonna show you as best as I can how to apply your false lashes. So here you have your lash. This is the inner corner of mine and the outer corner over here. You want to take it and you want to measure it along your lash line, and you want to scoot it in so it's at a good position on the inner corner. Make sure it's not poking anywhere on the inner corner, and if it's hanging off anywhere on the outer corner, you're gonna measure that and then you're gonna trim it from there. When you're trimming these, you always want to come from the longer side of the lash, the outer side, and cut from the band side out. If you cut from here, you might cut off a few lashes you don't mean to. So make sure you're coming from the band side to cut it off. Then you're gonna take your lash glue, apply a nice layer on onto the band, and then you're gonna wait for it to get tacky, maybe about 30 to 45 seconds. You're gonna come from a nice high 45-degree angle, place that on the lash line, and then you're gonna really press that in with your fingers and make a secure connection of the lash to the lash line. And if you need to, also just keep pressing that lash upwards. We want to make sure that it creates a nice wide open eye. If you have the lash sitting down too low, it's going to really cover up your eye and make your eyes look really small. So really push up that lash so it makes your eyes look nice, wide, and open. So now I have my lashes on. We're going to be taking some contour and just contouring up this one cheek. For me, I like this nice tapered brush. Mine's a little bit dirty, but that's just with contour. This is what I use almost on the daily, but I like this nice tapered fluffy brush. I feel like it's really easy, and I'm just using a contour shade. This is the shade I'm using, the one my finger is closest to. I really like this shade, especially when I'm a little bit more tan. I like the warm shade. So when you're applying this, you want to push it up into the hairline along that cheekbone. So how you find this place is you can make the fishy face, suck it in, go a little bit higher than where your face caves in when you suck in your cheek. Go a little bit higher than that, almost along the actual cheekbone, and push that up into the hairline, and then go back in circle motions and really blend that out. That is literally all we're going to be doing for contour on that side. And now I'm going to be taking my highlight and just a fluffy little brush, and we're just going to apply it right on the top of that cheekbone. And then I like to round mine up around my brow as well, and you get that nice glow, and then go in circle motions and really blend that out. And now, you know, we'll have that fierce glow when you get your picture. Now for the very last step, we have our nude lipstick. It's going to be dependent on your skin color, but if you are a light to medium, probably closer to medium, this shade is going to work really well for you. It's the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade London. And these are super affordable. They stay really well, so I definitely recommend staying within this brand and this line if you can. This is the completed show makeup. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below, or you can send me a quick email. I'll leave my email in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing start to your season.